Yeah, Andy, was it bats and ravens, or I thought there was something with talons that was attacking you?
Well, I think that would be the ravens.
Well, all right.
The bats are more bitey, whatever. But that was you know, it, I know that it was that I at some point I woke up and I was sobbing, holding on to a car
Yeah,
tire,
yeah.
like
You're
in the fetal,
binky.
in the
Wait,
fetal position, and then I had that blanket. I had my grandma unicorn blanket, and then I was like, "Whoa, what's all the problem here?" And then, yeah. Once you brush,
I have to fix something in my head though, real quick. Were you hugging a car tire that was attached to a car, or were you like just sitting with like a car tire in your lap?
well, I knew the car couldn't leave without me, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was like I was staying low because of the birds and the bats, or
Yeah.
attack, and staying low. And then I was just there, and then I was like, maybe this thing will, maybe if I just hold on. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I could, forget a few steps sometimes when you're on gypsy mescaline. Are we taping today?
We're rolling, baby. Good morning, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I still haven't gotten into drinking since the last Chad when you were over last.
You might not be drinking, but your hair is.
Yeah.
Cool. That's like Trump rally hair right there.
Shanley, do you remember Slow Falling? Did Tracy tell you about that?
Yeah, the room tilted.
Oh, we're all just standing there, me, Shaylee and Tracy just drinking and bullshitting, and all of a sudden, slowly, Shaylee just like falls backward into the wall, and then slides up, flips a table. The dog took off running, just slid slowly down the wall to the point where we didn't even try to save him. We did after a second, but we were laughing too hard. It was the safest drunken fall I've ever seen in my life.
I just now remembered that when you said that.
Yeah, you should always give yourself like about 10 seconds to black out. Like allow your body to just relax and go with it.
Don't fight it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The people who black out instantaneously are like Sean Rouse would go from coherent at the bar to face first on the bar.
Yeah.
But I'm always I like a slow fade.
I think that's a fade to black.
Well, it's always been one of my downfalls as well. Was I didn't appear as drunk as I really was. Like, and I was in the Army. I remember the next day talking to people, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is fun." They go, "Yeah," and I go, "What did I remember being at this bar?" And they're like, "Yeah, we went to 2 bars after that." I was like, "We went to 2 bars after that?" They're like, "You drove." We thought you I don't even remember those bars.
Yeah, those were the good old days when you could black out, drink, and drive.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Yeah. There was a cop in my hometown that just pulled it was a lawyer's kid, but he pulled us out of a ditch, and we were all drunk. Pulled us out of a ditch, and then said, "Well, you guys should have your folks come get you," but we didn't have cell phones or nothing. So we just got back on the road and helped right our ship. Those were, we don't do that anymore.
We were during the 80s. No. We were driving to a concert. It was my brother and I and a buddy of ours, BBJ, and we're driving down this. It's one lane going in each direction to the Pacific Amphitheater in Irvine, and there was nothing out there. There was like farmland on either side of the road, but the only way to get there, you had to go past it and then come back on this 2-lane like road. And as we're driving, we're drinking California coolers because we're tough like that.
Yeah.
You had ladies with you?
No. We're going to the Billy Idol concert, and the traffic is backed up in one way to get to the theater. So I decide to save time, I'll drive on the shoulder. And thinking like we were back then when you're 22, maybe, not even that, we decided we'd get rid of the bottles while we were driving on the shoulder and hucking them. And it's a packed concert. People are honking at us as we're just going by. And then all of a sudden I hear, "Stop throwing bottles on the highway." There's a cop cruiser behind us, also on the shoulder. And now all those people that we passed are now passing us as we're on the side of the road with a bunch of cops. And since it was a concert, they had a bunch of cadet cops and stuff. So they're trying to get them used to everything. And speaking to back in the 80s, and those were the days, we got let go because there was a fatality up ahead. So
lucky you.
I mean, we not only saved we got to go to the concert, we just had to dump out the rest of our beer and then pick up the bottles we had thrown out. And then it was, "Hey guys, you're lucky there's a fatality." Well, yeah, thank God.
You should have weekend at Bernie's with that guy. He saved your ass.
I faked a fatality once to get out of my friend out of a ticket. We used to all race back home when we'd go to party at the lake. We were all fucked up, and there's some windy roads on the way back, and some cliffs off to the sides and places. And so we coming up and we see somebody's pulled over. Well, it's our buddy who was beating us racing home. The cops got him pulled over. So I don't remember. I think my buddy was driving. I wasn't driving because I told him, "Just whip in there, get in there." When he's like, "What?" I go, "Just whip in there." And he fucking whipped in behind him. I jump out and go run into the cop. And I'm like, "Officer, we just saw a car go off the cliff, like a mile and a half back right here. We were yelling down there, and you can see tail lights and just dust. But nobody was answering us, but we were screaming." And he's like, "All right." And he turned around and hauled ass. And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Wow. That's a great one.
That was a fucking impromptu. That happened as soon as I saw the lights. I go, "I can fix this. Pull over."
Total Spicoli. I can fix this. You
can't fix this car, Spicoli.
When I look at the screen, I see my head on top of Erickson's Christmas tree, and it for some reason makes me happy about the impending holiday season for some fucking bad reason.
I didn't realize that, but that's true. We're our own Christmas angel on our own screen. We're Erickson's Christmas angel.
I don't think I'm doing Christmas this year. Well, my wife's studying to be I think she's getting close to getting her belt in Jehovah Witness.
They don't do Christmas.
I think she's challenging for first chair or whatever. Jehovah. I put some lights on a tree, and it didn't seem to go. It wasn't. I don't think we're doing it. So I'm saving money on the holidays.
That's nice.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Fuck Christmas.
Well, you don't have to go all the way that direction.
Well, I hate it whenever people say "fuck Christmas" and you haven't even said "fuck Thanksgiving" yet.
Yeah.
It's too early to be saying "fuck Christmas." It's "fuck Thanksgiving" right now.
Right. I've always hated Thanksgiving's always the worst because I don't like family and hanging out with family, and it was usually pretty fucked up growing up. There was I can remember a couple of times where Mom didn't ruin the turkey, but for the most part, it was always some tragedy involving the turkey. My brothers that were older would go off and smoke weed, which always caused problems. And
not for them.
It's just like one year it was epically bad where Larry was in. I don't know where Larry was, but some guy showed up and said Larry robbed him right there in dinner. And I think it saved several of us.
Wait, you got a knock?
Of us from
Wait, you got a knock? There was a
if I
knock
would've
at your
stayed and
door.
eaten, I would have been sick like several of the other family members. My grandma and several nephews were ill. But this guy showed up and said Larry ripped him off, and my mom was like, "Oh, that's, let's investigate it and shit." And it turns out he did kind of rip him off, or Larry had some of the shit that this guy allegedly said was gone. The guy's name was Detonator, though, so I mean,
Wait, what?
Was he putting a crew together to do a heist?
No, he was a one man. I don't know. He was a one
Are
man
you-
crew, that Detonator, but apparently something went sideways with some Harley Davidson merch, and Larry was.
Are
Larry
you
was
sure
told-
that you?
We searched his room, and during the search we found needles. So there was needles in, and I mean, Larry was one of the people in the house that wasn't diabetic. The fact that the needles were there and all that, and Detonator was right, and people were
Yeah,
sick.
That's
It was really the first Thanksgiving I had my wife over, so first family Thanksgiving that way.
Jumping right in.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
If she could invent a time machine, that'd be the day she went back to.
Oh yeah. So would
When
Detonator.
it all went wrong.
Detonator would go back to 2 days earlier.
When issues with Andy stories get picked up for a television sitcom, I want to fucking have a job in that fucking thing. Keep me in mind, guys.
I think.
I don't know
Holy
if
shit.
Chad,
I
I
don't know if
think you'd be
Detonator
the
ever rolled with
perfect.
crippled Kenny. Is it
Chad,
Larry
I
had a
think-
crew and they were all fucking weird.
Just shut it off, Erickson.
Yeah.
He's taking a sip. You can talk now.
Too late. I had to have my own.
It's almost like this whole thing's about timing or something.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say that when this goes to air, Chad, I think you'd be the perfect cameo as Detonator.
Oh yeah.
I think when you knocked on the door and you identified yourself as Detonator, people would buy that.
Yeah.
Where's Larry?
Well, I've seen him blow up shit, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Who's crippled Kenny? We just get Kenny, Castle Rock Kenny, and we just hobble him.
It won't be long. That'll happen. Nature will do it for us. By the time we get this thing sold and move forward to production, Kenny will be in a chair.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Andy, right to hobbling Kenny. Not, could you affect the limp? Is there any way you could?
We could start a meager GoFundMe to have Kenny hobbled.
I would do the voice of Detonator, but I think the show should definitely be animated because a lot of this stuff is going to be hard for people to believe is like real people doing. It seems more like Andy's life seems more cartoony. Than live action.
And zero budget, live action. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Zero budget I got.
Oh shit.
I have a small amount
fuck
of
you guys. I
explosives.
love Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're deep into it at the Erickson household, as you can
we
see.
see
Carrie
that.
Mitchell buys in, and she's all the way fucking going.
Wow.
So, yeah, our apartment from Curson Avenue looks like fucking Clark Griswold lives here. So it's nice. It's nice when I'm getting an Uber or a Lyft home because I'm like right up there. See where it looks like Walt Disney's trying to take a shit? That's where you drop me off.
And from my angle, that's where my head is. Right on top of that.
Erickson,
But I
do you
lost
put-
Shaylee.
who does the tree with the lights, or is that just one that goes in the box?
That's all Mitchell. Oh, it's a fake tree, yeah.
Yeah, but does it get stored with the lights and ornaments on it? They just stick it back in the box.
No.
Oh, it's a thing.
No. Everything comes apart. Luckily, Carrie Mitchell does all of it, and I get out of her way.
So that's the trade-off.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I'm all about it. I enjoy looking at it, but she's good about setting it up.
You drive out here all the time. She's
Yeah.
it's like there's gotta be
Yeah.
where does it reciprocate somewhere? And she sets up and takes down the tree. There you go. That's perfect.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I'll carry it up from storage. That's it. That's where my responsibilities end, and I'm all good with that.
So, also, if you need to get rid of a body, I've noticed that the bag. Do you have a Christmas tree bag? It'd be ideal for stowing a loved one away, taking them up and ditching them in the mountains.
Wait for rigor mortis to set in, and then just tie him to the roof. Nobody's even gonna think twice.
Right. Yeah, that's what I noticed with the Christmas tree bag. It's got wheels on it.
I love
Scott Peterson wish he had one of those.
I love Andy's choice words when you want to stow a loved one away and bury them up in the mountains. There's a disconnect between the two.
You've never been in love.
Or in your family.
It's the same fucking thing. It's just throw in time and circumstance. And we don't need a Christmas tree bag anymore because we don't need a Christmas tree. It's a neutral activity. It's a
win-win.
Well, yeah, at this point, buying a Christmas tree bag becomes a suspicious activity on your part. So yeah, fuck that. That's out the window. Well, he bought a Christmas tree bag, but they don't even celebrate Christmas. It seems fishy.
Yeah, we've got security footage from the Home Depot where you're buying a shovel, a bag of lime, and a Christmas tree bag. Fucking filthy.
I think I'm actually in the real war on Christmas. And we've heard about it, but I'm on I'm with someone who's diminished, has cartons and cartons of Christmas. I always resented having to decorate shit. Now I'm doing it defiantly, I'm on the other side of the wall giving the finger or something.
You're like the guys in MASH. You got drafted into the war on Christmas, and you're just fucking with it.
Right. So I got to find a Bing Crosby hat, and put on more Christmas cheer than I can muster. Just to with people.
What a rebel.
I can't wait to see how Christmased up you are behind you. Andy's going to be wearing a Christmas sweater on the next podcast. Lights all aglow.
Yeah. Sipping eggnog. Yeah.
Well, I have Thanksgiving. I've always liked it because I get to spend it with the side of my family that I like. My dad's side of the family is just like a bunch of really cool, down to earth rednecks, and no, none of them are into religion. None of them are into fucking politics. So everybody's just cool. But
dude, are all of them out of prison?
As of last month, yes, sir.
Here's to that.
It's a Thanksgiving miracle.
So, but it's gonna snow here.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Holy
driving.
Shit, really?
So I'm not. I canceled Thanksgiving plans.
Roger that.
It's beginning to look a lot like New Year's.
All of a sudden, Andy's into Christmas.
Yeah.
So today,
I'm back in, baby.
I'm back in.
Today I canceled plans to drive for Thanksgiving, and as we speak, Jenny is taking the grandkids to go live back at their house. So it's kind of like Christmas for me too.
Wow.
So good day for me.
Yeah. That you circumvented the layaway plan of 18 years.
Yeah. Well, maybe only temporarily. We'll see. Yeah.
You can still promise some community college money, and then when it gets time, say, "Oh man, sorry, man." That's the 18-year plan. It's like you ain't got any chance at college. I'm sorry.
Listen, they're gonna get the same fucking speech that my kids got. I'll teach you how to exploit the financial aid system, and they can either be smart enough to run with that, or they can
I had to figure that out on the fly. I wish I would have had some encouragement early, because I really, just when I fumbled onto was very profitable.
I didn't even know about financial aid until I was doing a work study in the financial aid office at the community college. I'm like, oh, fuck. I thought I was so stupid when I was young. Nobody ever told me anything about financial aid as a kid, and I was fairly smart. And I was like, how come nobody fucking told me about this? Because literally, even I say I'm smart, and then I'll tell you how dumb I was. I thought only people whose family had money got to go to college. I thought that's just how college worked.
And only the rich people got financial aid.
Only the good ones.
Well, because the only people I knew that ever went to college were the fucking everybody else just fucking graduated high school and went to work at the mines.
I'm guessing none of them will be at Thanksgiving.
It was like a fucking Christmas movie in the 50s. Everybody just fucking went to work at the mines.
Fuck.
Shaylee's got what? You guys are doing something fun in Bisbee, right?
No, nothing.
Oh. No, really.
No, Doug took off. Bingo's going to Grass Valley.
Henry Phillips table scraps.
Yeah.
The singer-songwriter, not the dog.
It's Tracy and I. And
Andy.
Go ahead.
Andy, do you realize that every time you speak, you're leaning your head out of the picture?
I'm still working out these glitches here. You can
okay, just wanted you to be aware of it. I don't mind that you do it. I just want you to be aware that you're doing it.
Now that I'm aware.
Andy, you can actually move that picture of you that's up in the upper right corner.
Yeah.
You can make it bigger, and you can move it to anywhere on the screen so that you don't have to lean that way or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to help.
I think it's because his microphone's over there, but
it's not
that's fine.
It's not
it's fine.
Via finger. If I can't do it with finger.
Yeah, I got it. Never mind. Sorry.
Haley,
what are you doing?
I'm in the future, like when you still. When you see a movie of the future and they just swipe shit, that's what.
Yeah, when CSI.
When
Minority Report.
Yeah.
I'll be on top of that shit.
Yeah, so we're not doing. We've got nothing going on here. No one's here. It's Tracy and I, and I drunkenly bought a PlayStation 4, and she's playing that, and I feel like the old guy going, why do I have to keep signing in? It's like, well, that's the whole thing. Keep paying money. Hey, $10 for a game, that's great. And then you find out, well, you need PlayStation Plus. That's $45 a year. Wait a minute. Not for the machine. For each user is $45. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's for the year.
That's why the next time I got drunk, I just slow fell into the wall.
Yeah,
that's a good choice.
I wish I mean, I got drunk so much early on in my life just to cover up pain or whatever. But now that I realize just how fucked up everything is, and my body I can't take in as much booze as I need to. I'm trying to figure out ways to get it into my system or whatever. It's like, I wish I would have taken it easier on drinking back then, because now I really need it. At this point in my life, it's like, holy shit. Yeah, no, I would like to get blackout drunk every minute of this waking existence that I got. But I wasted it in my 20s, and now my body, it's like too many body blows, Rocky.
You built up a booze callus.
Oh, shit. I'm probably in the same boat, but I'm drinking anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got to commit to the final stretch of it. It's like I just wanted, I wanted more brain murder than body murder. That's what I'm faced with. I can't murder my brain without my body leaking. Pretty much like every fucking American-made automobile.
But you can temporarily put it to sleep for long periods of time, hence the fucking need for drugs and alcohol. I understand.
Yeah, that's why the opiate crisis makes so much sense. A lot of those people, they have nothing to look forward to. They should be wanting to sleep all the time. I don't blame them. I get it, you know. It ain't a crisis so much as a reckoning.
I'd kill myself.
Reckoning. It's the opiate reckoning. People are just figured out how fucking lame it is and how little they got to fucking look forward to, and they just decided to go all in over the holidays. If you've got loose pharmaceuticals, give them to a depressed relative. You know? You can make this holiday a special. You don't have to go out to a fucking store, a box store. Just wait for that relative to leave for a box store and raid the cabinet. This is my Christmas spiel for the future. There is no Christmas. Santa Claus sucks Santa's dick. I said the same thing twice, right? That's because there's lots of Santas. It's small. It could happen. It's not a miracle. It's just two fucking old dudes doing temporary work, getting lonely.
It's cold in the alley.
I don't know how we got that. Santa gig. I don't know how we got to Santa. I was
at the mall
from
waiting
the opioid reckoning.
Well, it's all the same thing, man. The guy who put my screen on my phone at the mall was bitching about how he couldn't get drugs because a bunch of fucking crackheads. And while I was waiting to get my thing, it took a while. And then I watched Santa, and Santa limped over, and he was fucking, you know, an old curmudgeon. And I was like, wow, this guy's on farm. You know, it's like, and then I looked around the mall, and everybody's on drugs. And nobody's happy, and they're piping in Christmas music, and nobody feels it. Am I wrong? Am I missing something? I was at the mall, man. I saw this.
And I went to the Sierra Vista Mall yesterday, and I was so glad that I did, because it was when you walk in, you see giant plywood over where the Sears used to be.
I was gonna say.
and then you turn right, and it's the middle of the day. And you know how a lot of malls, like early fucking ass in the morning when nobody goes to the mall, old people go to the mall and just walk around. Mall walkers. This was the middle of the day, and there was about 4 sets of mall walkers, and that was it. In the whole place. You walk down over by the food court and look down. Every single place is shut down except for Subway. Subway is the only last vestige of the mall here in Sierra Vista of food. Around the corner, they used to have like one of those build your own yogurt things that they have at the malls. Now, a gutter place that puts up gutters has rented out the space and just has a bunch of fucking gutters hanging all over the wall to see what sorts of gutters they offered. I was like, that's a fucking greatest metaphor I've ever fucking seen for what's happening here.
Does Santa still visit that mall?
He was down there by the old Sears plywood.
Yeah.
Santa.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want for Christmas? What kind of gutters would you like for Christmas, little Susie? I want leaf guard gutters, Santa. We can do that. In a place it never rains.
I watched the family. Well, it was like it's a guy in the original Bad News Bears. You know, the old dude actor.
Walter Matthau.
There was a retarded Walter Matthau with a family doing a Christmas picture. It was like 3 little ones, and then this old grandpa was retarded, and he had an Otter the other reindeer. They all had matching fucking deals, and I can't figure out.
You're talking about like matching sweaters or something?
Yeah, they had matching sweaters, and then it was like 3 little kids, and then this retarded uncle with, you know, matching thing, and then the parents of the kids stood aside, and the one kid was horrified of Santa. He, you know, like how some dogs just pick up on evil. Like this kid just fucking let loose when he wouldn't go near it. He got all rigid and shit. And I was like, is he the only? It's like me and that kid were the only ones in the mall who understood what was going on there. Not the people at the knife shop the guy putting on the screen, he was like fucking he needed I felt his pain. He needs his pain meds, It's not his shame on his Medicare or whatever, but everybody is just
I have
fucking
a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Was the uncle or the old guy legitimately like retarded? Was he Down syndrome retarded, or are you just making a judgment?
No, he was very. I mean, I saw him come in as a family because I had to. This guy that I was getting the screen protector with was ranting at somebody on the phone about he can't get his meds. This is bullshit. And I'm like, I agreed with him, but I was mad because I had my screen protector break almost immediately, and I've been checking back with this asshole for about 4 months, waiting for this screen protector because he's a fucking pillhead. So
Wait a minute. Excuse me, Congressman Jordan. Please stop dodging the question. Was the old man retarded or not?
At least Jordan's wearing a jacket.
Listen,
he had on.
Listen, what family takes their uncle for family pictures if he's not retarded?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate response. Where I'm going with this is if he's legitimately retarded, first of all, you don't see that many old retarded people out in public.
Exactly,
you can never tell how old they are. I mean, he might have been 17. They get into that.
I'm guessing
he was the younger brother.
Retarded, but I know for a fact that he also believed in Santa Claus and felt the magic.
Okay, all right.
Old dude, he looked like Jerry Sandusky going in for his fucking his update, dragging his sore knee. Looked like he needed a fucking cortisone shot just to drag up into the fucking Santa thing there. And this guy felt that guy's spirit and was happy to be around him. Like it was like, a meet and greet with David Lee Roth or Vince Neil. Yeah, so I think he was retarded. How could you maintain the spirit beyond your 8 years, 9 years old?
Yeah,
fair enough.
He had bad teeth.
Kudos to that family.
Yeah, without talking to him about politics, I'm pretty sure he's retarded. He had
empirical evidence
and a colorful sweatshirt.
Yeah, Andy, who in their right mind, who would you know that would continue to have that Christmas spirit after they're 9 years old? If there was, if you could is there anything on the screen that would point to someone who's got that spirit after the age of 9?
I believe in you, Santa.
Yeah. The Midwest pounds it into your head so that it becomes a part of your, it's like this Jehovah's Witness thing.
Mm-hmm.
You believe it,
Excuse me for being happy.
I think Andy's at the mall thinking everyone's on drugs because he's the only one who isn't. So he just gets really bad-mannered and ill-tempered and has a fucking negative narrative on everyone he's looking at.
Well, I also found out recently that the reason that chair at the mall in California ran so long is I got charged for 30 minutes.
On the massage chair?
Yeah, I'm sitting there, you swipe a card, you think 2 minutes, 3-minute massage, tripping on LSD, so you're not really even thinking about it that much at all from a consumer. Just swiping a card. But I got charged.
How much is a 30-minute chair massage?
$5.
That's not that bad.
And they got unplugged by security. Probably, can't say for sure, but it stopped abruptly, and I was escorted out. Well, I was followed out by security. I don't know about escort. I was far too ahead of the curve to be escorted.
I think you got lucky if it was only $5.
Yeah, I thought new rule when I'm tripping, I'm getting rid of it. Credit cards as well.
Well, get rid of them first. Don't get rid of them while you're tripping, because that could also be a problem. Just handing out credit cards to homeless guys in Santa Rosa.
And he's going to start to be a responsible drug taker now.
No, he's just going to wake up, like Erickson said, and go, oh, where did I know I got rid of my credit cards, but where did I get rid of them?
It's high time I become a responsible drug
user. Put them in the bus station locker, but then I fucking told that homeless guy to not give the key to anybody but me. It's got an elaborate system.
Yeah.
Here,
that's dude, hold this key.
That's why tripping in the desert works so well.
Oh my God, are you kidding me, Andy?
Yeah.
Do you remember that time when we took mescaline in the I know that was a terrifying.
I remember that night more than any other night of my life.
We were I'll tell you guys, I'm so glad. So we bought some mescaline from someone who showed up at the desert party.
The gypsies.
Well, gypsies, travelers, they weren't with our group. And there was no reason that had to be real mescaline, because we would have bought it anyway. So
right.
They traveled on. Remember, a gay cousin Eric and myself had taken mescaline, Doug, Bingo, and Andy. And gay cousin Eric and I were not having any effects because we were spinning plates trying to maintain Andy screaming because these eagles or something were coming down at him. He was trying to hide underneath the back of the RV, and Bingo took 2 hours to try and put on one flip-flop, and she just couldn't get her foot into the flip-flop. And then it was just really just herding cats for a gay cousin.
Distracted by the birds too.
I don't know what. You were underneath the back of the bumper, and you would just start blood curdling screaming, and it was something was coming down at you, and I have no idea what it was. And it's clear that my defenses kicked in and said, "Don't trip, something weird's happening here. You got to maintain."
Well, when the ravens and the bats start teaming up, lock down, get low.
That's an unholy alliance.
Yeah, that's why I was holding on to my wheel. I was hoping the car would transport me away from that really fucked up scene.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was the year we had the RV, and then Doug ended up going out into the desert. We had Doug and I had forgot to get hotel rooms at the party that we had organized. So we had to rent an RV because all the rooms for our party got fucking bought for the weekend. So we had the RV, and that's why we were over in the campground part. But yeah, it was Andy, was it bats and ravens, or I thought there was something with talons that was attacking you?
Well, I think that would be the ravens.
Well, all right.
The bats are more bitey. Whatever, but I know that it was that I at some point I woke up and I was sobbing, holding on to a car tire.
Yeah.
Like
you're binky.
Wait,
and then I had that blanket. I had my grandma unicorn blanket, and then I was like, "Whoa, what's all the problem here?" Once you brush,
I have to fix something in my head though, real quick. Were you hugging a car tire that was attached to a car, or were you like just sitting with like a car tire in your lap?
Well, I knew the car couldn't leave without me, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was like, I was staying low because of the birds and the bats, or back, and staying low, and then I was just there, and then I was like, maybe this thing will, maybe if I just hold on. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I could, forget a few steps sometimes when you're on gypsy mescaline. I should open the car door, get in there. I always think
that, it always used to be that where I grew up, there were always like cats running around. When you started your car, you always had to check to make sure there weren't any neighborhood cats hiding up in the wheel well of your car, so you'd squish them flat. So I could see how that could go terribly wrong for you, actually. I'm surprised they're still alive.
Yeah, so I was looking for kitties.
I do remember that at one point, when Andy calmed down, Bingo had finally got her flip-flop on and put away somewhere. It was a flood of whatever was holding it back in my head that I ended up semi-tripping. It'd been 2 hours of high alert that kind of kept everything kind of squished down.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry you had to road manage during your mescaline.
For the life of me, I just figured it was bullshit and you guys were on something else. But then I found Doug out in the desert, and I remember him talking, and the words came out of his mouth. They were green, and they were like drippy letters, you know, and they were green, and I could see the words coming out of his mouth. And then I go, oh, that's what.
I get it.
I get
And
it.
then Shaylee slow fell into a table and wall and slid down.
Those do you remember those gypsies? Like they set up and they had like a bunch of like hammocks and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
They emptied out and they were all out mixing with us and shit and selling us all drugs and shit. And then they just disappeared. I don't think
That's
anybody
what
really.
I thought it was bogus. It's like
yeah, but it was.
Leave.
Yeah, they should have stuck around. There might have been some follow-up purchases. Hey, could you
get to the bottom of this Bavid Rat story?
Yeah, it's like when people go into the weed store, I'd be like, could I get something a little less Raven Bat leaning? Maybe some pigeons or bunnies. That's the kind of mescaline I'm looking for. Bunnies and pigeons.
Oh shit.
Andy doesn't realize that it all comes from his own mind, so the bunnies would just be fucking huge with gnashing teeth.
Yeah,
trying
like
to fucking
Bonnie
murder
Python.
him.
With talons.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was already picturing the ravens and the bats fucking as one fucking creature coming after you.
Bat Raven, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Indians saw them.
Right. Yeah.
But they're probably dead. I know. Remember the ancient Indians I used to drag out from the ghost town?
I remember going to
you do.
Yeah.
You don't remember I dragged two Indians
No,
from
I do.
From
Darwin.
Darwin.
Yeah, the two Indian brothers. And I'd bring them out to the party, made sure they got drunk, and then it was like, wait, how are you guys getting home? You know.
That's typical Andy.
I like how the first part of it sounded like he did them a favor, and then it quickly turned into, hey, fuck you.
Too many Indians, not enough chiefs or something like that. But I was trying to get them, out of, yeah. They were the brothers that, they were the ones that made their own booze in their trailer, and we left James Inman with them. They were like, James Inman was drinking their firewater, and the brothers go, you're drinking it too fast, and Inman goes, I got it. And then we just all drove off and left him in that town with the Indians.
It's a real shame he made it out of there. That would have been a great place for him. The third Indian brother.
Well, one of them did get cancer.
From James?
No, well, I mean, he would have been a living cancer if he had stayed. Yeah. It's like, 15 miles off the main road, that town? Was like to Darwin.
Yeah, but the main road is 80 miles from anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Don't just put in 15 like there's a Walmart and a fucking hospital.
Right. Yeah, that just gets you to your funeral.
That just gets back to where the ravens and the bats are clawing at you.
That's about 18 miles.
Yeah, I keep threatening to go back there. I've been back there, I think, once, and it was 10 years after we had been there, and it was fucking packed. I'm like, yeah. I guess I can just sleep in a car in the campground, because I went out there. I had a Friday night and a Saturday night reservation, but I go, fuck it, let's just go tonight, Thursday. We'll get in there. Just come on, we know people. Yeah. Well, no, it was packed. There were tourists everywhere, but they all come in for the day, because everyone rides out on their bikes.
Right.
So there's lots full. There's a wait to get in to eat food. It's burger and brew shit. And then they stay there in the night, and then they'd leave the next day and they go off and, populate some other area. So, but the guy recognized us. He actually got us into a room for that one night. But that must have been 6 years ago. So
doesn't it feel almost like you're haunting something? Like I stayed there on my way to Texas, and I got there late, and I wandered around, and kind of the shadows, and then people were at the campground, and nobody was talking about, nobody was fucked up.
But you were by yourself, Andy. You got to be like all these people are like, yeah, they're German tourists who are on a motorcycling tour of Death Valley, and then they're sitting around a campfire sharing stories, and then there's one creepy weird guy wandering around who just got here late at night, and you're like, yeah, it seems kind of creepy and weird. Yeah, you're the one making it creepy and weird.
I'm just saying, it just felt like, there was nowhere to go. If I would have gotten naked and rollerbladed down the road, people would have called. There would have been some sort of repercussions.
Well, I mean, it's different when there's 50 or 60 of the people that are of like mind, and we actually have everything rented for the place. I mean, it just seemed like it just seemed like a different space almost. It seemed like a place of business when I was there. Our playground.
Yeah, some of the shit we did there would probably not fly these days.
Well, I don't know. Low season. No one's out there when it's 125 degrees and blowing wind.
Right. We always had the worst time to be in Death Valley season, right?
But that's why they let us do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just put this together.
I wondered why we didn't do a holiday version. Desert party, holiday show. Hey, it's pleasant here. You don't need to drink piss at all.
The Great Desert Trip Off, Christmas edition.
Hey, Andy, I got something in. It came up on my YouTube, and it's. I think it's a clip that Provenza put out of the project that you're working. Not the taping that we did here. But the
movie?
The first thing that came up was you sitting in Florida with Doug and your molester and a cop.
I don't know that's. I think that may have just been the old clip that we put up on Super Bowl Sunday years ago.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because occasionally somebody still has that and repost it.
All right.
So it's just.
Can't remember the name of it, but I saw that and I watched.
Groomed. Is it Groomed?
No, I don't know. I was gonna look at it, but
we don't want to rush Provenza. Yeah, he's taking his time with this.
Yeah, yeah. My life is his lifetime project. That's some fucked up shit. That calls for a hit of some calming hybrid cannabis. This weed helps me relax and be creative.
Has he told you who he's going to leave your life, the responsibility of your life to when he dies? A successor to Paul Provenza already lined up.
I feel like Paul's going to move on to Larry at some point.
The real story.
Larry is definitely a scene stealer.
I already pictured the cartoon was going to be called something with Larry in it. I mean,
the unironic racism and just, the fact that the guy could spend about 15 minutes comparing his dog's asshole size to that of various fruits.
Episode 3.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a pug dog, so it puts it right into that plum category. So, but, that's Larry's, he's got that prison improv.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they don't have open mics there, but he's got it.
Oh, my God, Andy. I don't know what that means.
If you're in prison, the last thing you want to be saying all the time is yes and.
Yeah.
Joke for my improv troupe friends out there. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Issues with
Yeah,
Granny. I see
listen,
what you mean. This hat does fucking
It's
with the glasses.
Nice.
yes, that with the glasses.
Good thing you don't see
Very
the
Granny.
blanket. I got a blanket wrapped around my legs so I stay warm out here on the deck. My hands are.
Oh, you need to bring you a muff, Granny.
Well, Granny lets her muff grow pretty long in the winter. So I have a place to keep my hands warm.
Oh shit!
She thinks it's a squirrel, but it's not.
Oh man!
I thought maybe my squirrel would come out and see us here today.
He's smarter than that.
Yeah.
So Andy, you're not celebrating. Chad, you're celebrating with the fun side of the family. Eric,
No,
you
I'm
guys,
getting to stay home.
yeah. Oh, but you're gonna see your relatives, right?
No, I canceled it just a couple hours ago because of the storm.
No, yeah.
So
And
I can
Eric,
stay home.
You're gonna celebrate there at the apartment, or do you guys?
We're here, and Carrie Mitchell's actually working Thanksgiving night at the Comedy Store, so we'll be there. But when this comes out, it'll be Friday, and we won't be doing jack shit, but fucking drinking box wine and fucking looking at this Christmas tree.
Yeah,
right there.
I can't wait.
On Saturday, I'm going to see my family, my brothers, for our last Thanksgiving get together.
Wait, you have another brother besides Larry?
The last
one?
I
got a bunch of them. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so many seasons of
four
this.
of them.
You guys, I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm the youngest.
Just paying this out real slow.
We could call it. This
is like Westworld, you know. The first
and-
season was a Western. The next one's a fucking, the Ming Dynasty. Then we're gonna do a fucking Jurassic Park version.
And we could call it. This is my brother Larry, and this is my other brother Larry.
Well, essentially, they're all Larrys.
See, that was the premise. I want to write on this show. I don't want to just do voice on this cartoon.
Yeah.
I want to write on this cartoon. God damn it, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Daryls are Larrys. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. So yeah, there's all five. There's 5 of us in total.
Jesus,
Uh-huh.
I've never heard.
If you want to do any little videos of you and your brothers, selfie videos of like, hi, it's me, Andy, and my brother John, and my brother Larry, I think that would be a good idea.
I'll see
Just
what
so you
Larry.
know.
I'll see what Larry's on before I.
I don't want to make them too. I know they're going to be paranoid. I get that they're going to be paranoid,
Yeah.
and they're going to think you're
say,
CIA.
Maybe just sneak some here and there.
Larry's
Oh,
an
so
acquired
good.
medication.
Like an Irish coffee.
Yeah. Like sometimes Larry's medicated to a point where he's not as entertaining. Oh yeah, I'll put a clip up.
No,
Yeah.
don't put it up. Just record it. I'll put it up.
That could be
Give it to Erickson. Yeah.
a real issue with Andy.
Yeah, we don't want anyone arrested.
When we were in Bisbee, well, even just putting it up is the thing, because when we were in Bisbee, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the
hey squirrel.
tweet out the issues with Andy." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." And he's like, "I don't have a picture of it." I'm like, "All right, well here, let me just." I just took one of the screenshots from the thing that it was, and I said, "Here," I texted it to him. I go, "Here you go. All right, there you go." And then he texted out, but he didn't write anything. And he didn't include a link. He just texted out the picture. Like, oh fuck! And then he tried to retweet that tweet and fix it. But I think he just said something that wasn't even remotely related to issues with Andy, and then still didn't put a link to issues with Andy. So now I just have these 2 nonsense tweets, and Andy's like, "There you go." And I was like, I'll retweet it. But
Those are for the real fans, like the real hardcore fans who get it.
The people who get that I don't get it.
It was just funny to watch the process, because oftentimes you just get to see the result, But
right.
to watch, we were sitting across from each other in Bisbee.
Yeah, to watch the sausage getting made.
It was like when we were in Texas and you were watching the sweat pour off of that guy onto the meat he was cutting to serve us. And I knew that that kind of shit happens, but to see it happen is it's a different experience altogether.
That's that extra ingredient that they don't put on the label.
Yeah,
you didn't see salt on the labels.
When they say somebody put their heart and soul into it.
There's a Mexican restaurant in Anchorage, Alaska, that a girl I was dating at the time, she used to work there, and we'd go there and have margaritas. And she told me about when she used to work there, that how they would get ready for like a big, like a Cinco de Mayo or something like that, and they would have trays of meat, and they would be on the ground. Like the tray of meat on the ground in the back in the kitchen. And I'm like, wait, why are you even telling me this? I'm never coming here again. This is a story that you end up with why you got sick or why they're closed. This is not a place that I would go to again. And she was like, yeah, there'd be just so much meat, because they'd have to find a place to put it. They would just stack it on the ground. And this is open in a pan, getting ready to prepare. I'm like, what the fuck? Don't take me back. Don't take me back there with your stories.
Hey, if you're eating Mexican food in Alaska, you're already fucking taking a risk, I feel like.
Well, so here's the thing. When I've eaten Mexican food in Mexico, and although technically it was on Rocky Point when you could camp on the beach a long time ago, and I was a kid, and you could buy bean burritos, and he had like one of those Home Depot buckets full of fucking little burrito, and you could get 5 for $1 of bean burritos, and that never ended well.
So that's so what you're saying is authentic Mexican food from Mexico more of a risk than Mexican food from Anchorage, Alaska.
Could be.
Especially for whoever rode in the plane seat next to Chad Shank.
If there was ever we were camping right there on the beach. I had to shit on the hill. It was, they didn't have bathrooms.
Well, by the way, I hope that you were shitting downhill and not uphill, right? Like you got to figure that out before you start, I would think.
He's like one of those penguins. It goes out horizontal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I that's not even a fucking stretch. I grabbed a limb to a tree when I was elk hunting and just fucking
hold on. Yeah. After a couple of bucket burritos, you just hold on for dear life and let loose.
Yeah, when you have to shit or jack off in the woods, that's when you discover that's what limbs are for. Like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. And
it's got a little give to it. It's just like,
other people in the camp are like
you're jerking off on a boat.
Other people in camp are like, you're not going to take a shovel. You don't need to bury it if it's going to seep in. No worries.
I think that's a beautiful place to end this holiday Thanksgiving episode of Issues with Andy.
Yeah, right on that.
Let's get some plugs in. If you're out there and you want to come see Andy and I do comedy, we'll be at Winston's OB in San Diego on December 28th. I know I was going to put a link in the description last week, but I didn't get it in time, so I have it now. So there'll be a link for that show and probably a link for our show. Wait, I said that wrong. Winston's on December 27th. It's a Friday. And then we'll be in Ventura, California somewhere on December 28th. We'll get more information on that when we get it. So come see us live. And I think that's it for us coming up. Come see us. It'll be fun. Who else? Anybody?
You almost like, for a guy with so much holiday spirit, it seemed like that plug was just like,
But
come see us. It'll be fun. But the Christmas tree
I don't
behind.
want to oversell it, Andy. I've done shows with you before.
Andy,
I don't want to oversell this.
Fucking plugging the gig that you're on.
I know. No, it's just that's why I'm trying.
No. I don't want Andy to be disparaged here. Andy booked the gig on the 28th. You know, the one we don't know anything about.
Oh, okay.
Andy booked that one.
That's because the guy got kicked off of Twitter and seems to have disappeared. My lucky streak continues.
Wait a minute, is John Bolton booking you guys?
Well, what happens is people who book me on shows, they don't get it, but they're setting themselves up for some weird, bad karma.
Yeah. This guy booked the show and then was immediately hauled away by a bat.
Yeah, he's under a car right now trying to get it together.
Shit.
I don't know about celebrating Thanksgiving, but I got to get this squirrel some peanuts or it's going to climb up my leg.
That could be a metaphor.
That sounds like Cousin Eddie, right?
Well, hey, let me throw these plugs in real quick. The Doug Stanhope tour dates. We've got Hawaii, the 13th and 14th in Honolulu, Vegas on New Year's Eve, and I think we're all going to be out there, so that'll be a get together. And then March, we've got dates in Seattle, Baltimore, Boston, and they just released 2 nights at the San Francisco Punchline, and those are in March. So get to DougStanhope.com, tour dates, and get all the information. And of course, I'm putting it out tonight. And on Wednesdays, the Doug Stanhope podcast goes out with and Chad. It's us getting drunk before I fell into a wall.
Oh man, yeah.
Nice.
Drunk.
Leaned into it.
Chad.
Check me out on Twitch. Whenever I get done here right now, I'm actually going to Twitch. We might even play some poker, Shaylee. So let me know if you guys are hanging out on this rainy day. At twitch.tv/HD_fatty, which is a pain in the ass. Just go to my Twitter at HDfatty, and then the pinned tweet will tell you how to subscribe for free, and I get real money. Thank you.
That's fantastic. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We love you guys. If you're out there, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe, rate us, like us. We love you. We'll do this every week as long as you'll listen. So thanks. We'll see you next time. Adios.
Cheers, guys.